Good morning, everyone. Hope you all are doing well. It's Friday, but I wanted to go ahead and get information out to you as soon as I could regarding next week with our return to in-person rehearsal. What I'm going to do is show you some information and show you some process and go over some need-to-know guidelines that we have to follow every time next week. First, I want you to look at our updated schedule. If you want to go head on over to jlmanband.com and then hit our calendar button here, scroll on down, you'll see that each day next week has a new time frame. On Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday next week, we are starting by 4:30 p.m. and we'll be ending by 6 p.m. You can also see that we are going to be dividing by section. On Monday, we will have guard only. Tuesday, we will have winds only, and Thursday, we will have percussion only. This is part of our phased-in approach to get us to a full band rehearsal this season, and this is something that we need to make sure that we're doing right before we get to the next level. So here's how our plan is going to work, and we need to take it step by step, and I know that there's a lot of moving parts, but we're going to have to make sure that we abide every rule here. So here is our diagram. I've taken a picture and drawn what we need to be able to do. Here's the band room. Here's our practice field outside. We have two groups of students that we have to give instructions to. With our hybrid schedule, you're either going to be at school or you're not at school. I'm going to start with those who are at school. So if you are color guard and you are at school on Monday, what you need to do is you need to wait until 7th period is fully dismissed. This year it's going to be different than what it was last year. We have a new schedule, a new logistical process for dismissing bus riders, car riders, and such. We want to make sure that you guys are where you need to be and exactly how you need to get there. So when they dismiss you for after-school activities, what I need you to do is come directly to the band room, and you're going to come in through the door that is on the 900 hall. The 900 hall is the one with all the science labs here. We've got our science labs. Mr. Acre's room is right across from me. There's a science lab just up the hall, and our faculty bathrooms and other classrooms are up here. The course room will be up here. What you need to do is come to the band room first if you are not currently in the band room. From there, we will then need to see how many of you are there, and then we'll get a process of where you need to go to change into clothes. For boys, you're going to go up to the 300 hallway bathroom. For girls, you're going to go up to the 900 hall bathroom to change. The 900 hall bathroom is bigger for the girls, but I want to make sure that we're having clear social distancing in process throughout all of this. Once you are changed and you come back into the band room, again, you're going out the band room through the 300 hallway where the art rooms are, and you're coming in through the 900 hall. Once you come back into the band room, you need to take all of your belongings, the personal belongings, and the equipment that you need for after-school rehearsal. And you're going to go back out the band room, down the 300 hall, out the exit doors, the outside doors here on the 300 hall, and head on out to the practice field. If for any reason that you need to come back in to the building, you need to find me, get somebody to tell you, and you need to come in through the 900 hall outside door. This door here to the band room is not to be used except for specific people at specific times. Now, there's a very important reason for this. At the end of every day, they are going to be cleaning the entire school, and we have to have a specific process for how we are going to do this, our ins and outs of the school, so that they can maintain that there is no cross-contamination of you coming and going, and that the room stays clean once they clean it. This keeps these hallways and the band room in the same state before they clean. That's just what we have to do this year. Please remember, and I'll make sure that I'm reminding everybody too, that as you're going out to the practice field, that you have all of your belongings. We will dismiss from the practice field immediately, and you'll go home immediately from there. So that's if you are at school. If you are in 7th period band and you are percussion or winds, you just hang out here and you start getting your things, and we can phase in the changing process as well. It'll actually start a little bit earlier if you are in that 7th period band class. It's a little bit easier for you. For those that don't have school on a day that we have rehearsal, what you'll need to do is arrange a ride to drop you off at starting at about 4 o'clock. That'll leave enough time for the buses to be dismissed, the student drivers who are leaving campus to be dismissed and leave, and any other traffic to subside. And I realize that 7th period e-learning ends roughly about 3:30, and I understand there's going to be a lot of leeway to make sure that you get the things that you need here. But the things that you need to make sure that you do is that when you get to campus, you already have all of the equipment that you need to immediately start practice. You cannot go into the band room to go get your things. We need to keep those two bubbles as separate as possible. There's a couple exceptions, and I'll get to that in a second. But for the vast majority of you, if you are traveling to the school to do after-school practice, you need to go directly to the practice field and go. So if you're a marching baritone, if you're a mellophone, or if you're a color guard person, that you have your flag or your instrument, you need to take that with you every day and bring it to rehearsal after school if you are not on that day. Next, for our dismissal process, we are going our rehearsals will end at 6, but we will start a process to make sure that we keep social distancing throughout our entire process from beginning to end. We have to guarantee that you guys are staying at least 6 feet apart from one another for the entire time that we are here, and that is vital. So we will make sure that when we are dismissing, that we keep you guys as distanced as possible, and that if we need to have anybody come in, that we follow you follow a staff member's direct instructions for that. Our exceptions for people coming back into the band room for large equipment or logistical needs are going to be tubas, battery instruments, and keyboard percussion. For right now, if you fall outside of those instrument sections, you need to find a way to make sure that you have your equipment where it needs to be. And we will find out a logistic. All of next week is going to be kind of an orientation style of process here. There's a lot of things that we need to figure out how to help you make sure that we still have the ability to do our rehearsals this year. One of the other things that we definitely need to pay attention to is going to be our guidelines and requirements to be in person for band. Some of these were listed in your membership packet, and some of them were in the waiver form. Every student is going to need a mask, and I highly suggest you get your own mask that is specific for band. If you need a mask, please let us know. We will be happy to help you either to give you one, or to see if there's somebody else that we can point you in the right direction to get a mask. For wind players, we're going to look at the slits, and we'll give you a mask to do a slit. Percussion, all percussion will need to wear a mask at all times. guard, you will need to wear a mask at all times. If there are times where the mask can be taken off, we will let you know when the mask can be taken off. But operate now under the overarching rule that the mask will be worn at all times. That is a non-negotiable. That's not my rule. That's not JL Mann's rule. That's a district, and that's a DHEC guideline. That's one of those things that we have to follow. We also need to have sanitizing stations throughout the process. If you are in the school day, I'll have 3 sanitizing stations in the band room that'll be on opposing parts of the school, of the band room. If you're coming to the school, I'll have one outside underneath the overhang outside the band room so that you can use some hand sanitizer and get going to rehearsal. The reason why we are ending at 6 o'clock this year is because that's the time roughly when the band room will be cleaned with the fogger to make sure that it's sanitized and cleaned at the end of the day. Once that happens, once the band room gets that fog cleaned, I cannot come back into the room. It has to stay like that in order to dry, and it needs to stay like that until the next morning. So it's not you guys that's going to have personal belongings that leave at the beginning of rehearsal. Before the beginning of rehearsal, I will also be taking all of my personal belongings with me to rehearsal as well. Another non-negotiable that we have to have, and it's going to be one of the things that you guys get told throughout all of next week as you come to your first day for school, you have to stay 6 feet apart from somebody. You cannot be closer than 6 feet unless you come from the same family. The only way that we are going to be able to do this is if we maintain social distancing, if you wear your mask, and if you are making sure that you are washing your hands and sanitizing. That if we have groups of people that aren't doing that, we cannot have rehearsal in person, and we will go back to virtual. That's the end of it. If we don't have you guys following these rules, and we'll do everything in our power to help you follow these rules. We'll help you. We'll put reminders up, but we need you guys to do this part to make sure that the band can have a rehearsal so that we can put on any type of show that we want to do this year. Going down my list here, making sure it's going to be a lot, and I will make sure that we have as many reminders as possible. Before we get there to Monday, I have to remind everybody that we need to have waiver forms, membership forms, and all of those signed documents turned in before you start rehearsing in person. By the district, I cannot allow students to participate in in-person marching band if they do not have that waiver signed. Please make sure you get those into us as soon as possible. If you need to wait till we come in person and give me the hard copy, that's fine too. We just need to have that document signed. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to email the booster email. Please don't hesitate to email me, throw the question on Facebook. There are many outlets that we have to help you with any questions that you may have. I know this is a lot, and I know it's going to seem a little overwhelming at the beginning, but come in on your first day of rehearsal knowing that we're going to get you through the steps. We're going to make sure that you go from A to B to C, knowing exactly where you should be and how you should be doing it. What we have to do is get you in that routine, get you in that habit of doing it right, and then I know that you guys will do it correctly from there on out. We will get through this. I'll make sure that we have the leaders helping out. I'll make sure that we have staff helping out. And as soon as we can have parent help here, I will make sure that we have parent help here. Thank you guys so much, and I can't wait to see you guys next week.